Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hey, BC and Topsy. Looking like a supermodel. What's wrong with you?
Yes, I am. Beauty queen and 2 pounds, darling.
Forget that you have plenty of children.
Now leave that thing there. Don't spoil my market this morning. I'm sure you did.
How you doing?
I'm doing amazing.
Good to see you.
Thank you so much. Good to see you too. You guys look lovely.
This girl got the hair. It's really, really nice. Really nice.
So I started teaching my 4-year-old about sex education. So we started yesterday.
Nice.
Why are you putting your head like that?
I never even teach my 8-year-old.
No, you have to. So I started calling the names of the parts. So it's no longer the PP you call. Yeah. You know the exact name of each part, and you know that they are private parts, and nobody will touch it. And she was excited, repeating it after me. And like, so when I was bathing her later on, I asked her, okay, what's the name of this place? What's the name of this place? What are you supposed to do? Then there was a song they taught them in school.
I came up with a song.
Yeah, so we sang it together just to reinforce that nobody comes around that area.
I developed a song. Actually,
you sang it. You sang it on TV many times.
I'm not saying it again.
Teach us the
No,
song.
but it's good.
I'll teach you the song because I told my kids early, but thank you for reminding me because I need to do a refresher.
You need to, yes.
I need to remind them.
Okay, so repetition. We've discussed this one because I think that all the school, we had Pastor Nomfi on the show then, and she had this very, very interesting book, Nomfi Odukoya, that breaks down how, don't touch me there.
I would like to have that book.
And you can use that book to teach them. So my kids read it and they understood it. Then in school too, they actually do enforce this knowledge, you know. So, but we can't overdo it. There's so much predators out there.
And I'll post it on Instagram.
Please do. I'll learn that song.
So I'll show you how I do it so that the kids.
That would be good.
With the dance. How are you doing, Topsy?
I'm amazing. I'm grateful to God. As in, I'm excited.
What's exciting
you? You know, the feeling of fulfilling your purpose, doing what you love. We take it like I'm all rounder doing what I love. Like I'm not one of those that wake up and
you're looking for what to do
or complain about I don't want to go out today. I wake up excited. Like I'm happy. I'm fulfilling my assignments. I don't take any platform for granted.
I saw your live yesterday. I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you.
I think you are in your place. You're in your zone. I mean, I saw Tokwe and I was saying hi. I gave you feedback that. Yeah, you're better when somebody is eliciting information from you. You deliver, and it was really good. And she addressed herself.
Okay,
as
you were the guest.
Yes, she was the guest.
Yeah, okay.
And she was
growth coach.
I was like, okay, all right, growth coach or growth expert or something.
No, I'm a growth coach. Yeah, I want to help you grow.
That's fantastic. So that's good stuff.
Today is my uncle's birthday.
Oh yeah.
Taiwo Bamidele. My uncle was very supportive of my mom through school and all of that. His kids, my cousins, have been very, very, very supportive. Books, they're always sending me materials to help me grow. God bless you, Mr. Taiwo. Uncle Taiwo Bamidele. You live long, many more years in good health.
I also have a birthday shout out to the former deputy governor of Ekiti State, Professor Modukwe Adelabu. She's going to be 70 tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations, ma.
70 is big.
She's very close to my husband's family, and it means a lot to them. And she's in Ekiti, self-isolating. You know, everybody's there and minding their business. But congratulations, ma. Happy birthday. God bless you. Give you long life, joy, peace, happiness, all the days of your life.
Amen.
Let's go on a break. We'll be right back. Right, we're going to start with the nation. Federal government overrules governors on worship centers opening. Federation accounts lost 125 billion naira revenue in Q1. SEO rules abductor gets 26-year jail term. Lagos spends 800 million naira on 16,000 tests. GNI others back Sultans pray at home at Eid call. And Ondo polls will be difficult, says INEC. I thought so too. I mean, they've been talking about they're not cancelling it.
They will not cancel.
And I'm thinking, okay, we are all waiting exactly how you want to conduct this election.
So keep waiting. They've said they would release the legal framework. We're still going to wait for them to release it, but they said that they would try to keep it within the legal framework of the time they should conduct the election, and they're going to release
plan something. How people are going to execute the whole other ball game.
There's still COVID.
Anyways,
That's
let's take
it.
a few other stories in
Yeah,
Nation.
the major story.
Major headline. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so the federal government is actually accusing the governors of breaching the guidelines that they have set to be able to come out of COVID-19. And they are saying that, some states have come out to say that they are going to allow religious gatherings. So, but the PTF chairman is saying, that's Mustafa, is saying that the ban for 20 persons, more than 20 persons is still on. So we're not going to allow a gathering of more than 20 persons. And this is the time that governors should work together to ensure that they, join in this fight of taking
and
out
echoing
COVID-19.
that is also the Sultan saying, and Jay and I also mentioned that, listen, for the Eid prayers, pray at home.
Well, Kogi is saying that he allowed the prayers because the government feels that if we say they should not gather to pray, they will go underground, which is more dangerous. So we are allowing you to pray openly, just maintain social distance. I think that the PTF should have meetings with these governors one-on-one to decide on domesticated solutions for them. Because Ebonyi doesn't have any case. So Ebonyi is saying that let them meet on Sundays, allow them to meet.
Dry run? Do the floor plan. Let us see a floor plan. Go to the mosque, mark the floor. Let us see how the bus is going to bring them from their point to the mosque. How you're going to social distance within the bus. Take them. Let us see that. Then we know you're ready.
I think plans are underway for that.
Let's do that. It's important so that we know you're serious. We'll take a SERU elsewhere. Moving on to the Punch. FG asked churches, mosques, others to submit guidelines for reopening. Picture here, woman dies, child, 2 others injured at Lagos crash. This is Otedola Bridge. Protest as policeman kills Ogun pregnant woman with torch. Kano youth who abducted impregnated S.A. Ruru, jail 26 years. FG declares Monday, Tuesday, Eid al-Fitr holidays. And 10 trillion naira spent on fuel subsidy in 15 years, says marketers. Finally, Nigerians evading tax on foreign properties risk prosecution. Okay, I would like to start with the picture headline.
Okay, go ahead.
Because it is really, really sad. Whenever I'm passing that Otedola Bridge, I'm always speaking in tongues. I'm always speaking in tongues because that Otedola Bridge has become so notorious. Especially tank. When I say a tanker like that, I just slow down.
You just slow down and pray.
I pray. Because when the tanker now goes, I begin to...
He's not being a good driver.
Yes.
He's not being a smart
Anything
driver.
Anything can
just happen.
This particular one was a truck
that
just lost control and, it was a multiple accident.
Let's take another story in Punch. Go ahead.
Major headline. Yes. So the federal government is asking churches, mosques, and other bodies to submit their guidelines for reopening. And I think the transportation companies have already submitted theirs. But they are also saying, the Minister of Health is also saying that people in isolation center who have overstayed are at a risk of mental health issues. They are probably getting into depression. So they want to deploy psychologists to the isolation center so that they can help them come out of it. They are working with psychologists to come up with programs that would engage them and not, so that they won't, from COVID-19 issue, you now have another mental issue.
And in a related story, I know PTF was saying that they are exhausting the number of bed spaces they have. So what they're going to do, or they're planning to do now, is instead of doing that 2-3 tests before you can go, once your first test comes out positive, they'll let you go, because then they now determine that it's still safe enough for you to actually go, because they need to decongest the isolation center. So after first test, once you're positive, once you're negative, once you're negative, they will allow you to go. Usually the process now is you need about 2 or 3 tests before they certify you
I want to take the story of a pregnant woman. It happened yesterday morning, just shortly before 7 a.m. This pregnant woman was already in labor and she was on a bike to the hospital. And she said she was stopped by 3 policemen. The account of the driver was that the policeman hit the pregnant woman with torchlight on her head.
Whoa.
And before she got to the hospital, she bled and died. But the policemen were saying that she was already in labor and bleeding, and that they only stopped the bike for like 15 minutes to 10 to 15 minutes to be sure she wasn't being kidnapped. The bike man is saying that wasn't true, because that they wanted to get money from him, and he said he didn't have money at that time. So there were protests by community leaders, the Oba of the youths, and the Oba of that area, Ibiade, that's Bola Raimi, had to step out and say the police needs to punish those 3 people, because they've been able to stop the rioters from destroying police property. And you must execute your laws with a human face. You can't see a pregnant woman that is in labor on a bike and you're saying they should pay you money before you let them go. So I want to believe the police is what they're saying, but we really need to be compassionate.
Let's move on to Nigerian Tribune. It's going to be here. States to get $1.5 billion World Bank repackage. COVID-19, PTF cautions governors against large gatherings, warns against abuse of chloroquine. Buhari amends voluntary offshore assets regulation scheme. And SAO rules kidnapper gets 26 years jail term. And the story you just talked about, pregnant woman dies at police checkpoint. Let's talk about SAO rule, then we'll come to the other story.
The Delta State teenager who in 2015, at the age of 14, was kidnapped from our hometown and taken to a northern state. I think it was Kano.
Right, Kano.
And then he was forced to change her religion. She became a Muslim. She got pregnant at that age. So I think civil societies took up the case, and finally, thankfully, she's gotten justice. Right. The person who perpetrated the crime has been sentenced to 26 years imprisonment. Yeah. So
we're pretty excited about that because we've been following this story for a while. I know that justice has been served.
Finally.
Okay, Buhari amends voluntary offshore.
So there were two bills that were signed, Executive Order 008 in October 2018.
Right.
One was the Voluntary Asset Income Declaration Scheme, VADES, and the second one was the Voluntary Offshore Assets Regularization Scheme, VOAS. So the VADES the paper reported that it wasn't quite successful, but it's been wrapped up. There's a new order extending a one-year gap for any Nigerian that has properties overseas to pay and regularize their tax over it. They also mentioned that the penalty, you're supposed to pay 35% liabilities. The penalty, if you don't voluntarily come, is that NFIU is going to investigate this with their foreign partners who have all the details of every property owned, and the asset managers abroad, the bankers that help to repatriate the money, all of them will be held liable if you own a property abroad and you don't voluntarily declare within the time frame. So we're expecting this, our rich people. Please, the economy is going down. There's recession. They say we are going into recession. Please just help us.
At the NEC meeting yesterday, they openly declared, listen, Nigeria is facing the worst economic downturn.
It's obvious.
COVID-19 is going to move us into recession.
It's not obvious, so people think that we still have money.
How can you be thinking that?
Let's move on to Vanguard. Edo anti-Oshomole forces fight dirty. Nigeria risk African Development Bank's wrath over sack of TCN boss. Lagos spends 800 million naira on 16,000 COVID-19 tests, says Health Commissioner. And Lagos running out of bed space. FG raises alarm, malls, community management, home isolation. And FG declares May 25 and 26 public holidays. Okay, let's start with yes, go ahead.
Yes, so Delta State Council of Traditional Rulers are lamenting and crying out that their state is under siege. They have a lot of people suspected to be herdsmen who are camping in the neighboring bushes, and they come out to perpetrate harm, hurt their women, rape their women, steal from them. So they are crying out. And aside from that, the state government, I think about last week, said that they were going to, have a security outfit, something in nature of Amotekun, and they called it Operation Delta Hawk, to, assist why are you smiling? To assist the security officials in taking care of the people.
We just got to use an animal, right?
Yes.
You just got to do an animal,
So they are applauding, they are appealing to the federal government, to state governments to come to their aid and fish out all of these people who are living in the bushes.
Okay, so I was going to take the Lagos State spending 800 million naira on 16,000 COVID-19 tests. They're saying they've been spending this money between 40,000 to 50,000 naira per test, per person, and they've been doing it for free right now.
Yeah.
But going forward, that's not sustainable, obviously. Going forward, they're likely to begin to subsidize it or get NGOs or donors to help support them, because the truth is that they're trying to get 1,000 tests done per day.
Yeah. And I think that it's already supported by donors now. Most of the funds being used are contributory.
Well, this money they're saying it's from their own. They're the ones spending this.
The state government.
So they're saying going forward.
So I want to talk about the TCN, African Development Bank, heavily funds the Transmission Company of Nigeria. And recently, the Transmission Company of Nigeria's MD, CEO, has been fired. According to the papers, it was without he wasn't even aware he was being fired, that his office was locked. He read about his being fired on the news within the social media space, and the Africa Development Bank is saying that this is totally wrong. They don't support it. The Minister for Power is also replying that no foreign bank can tell us how to run our system. So the point is, he's fired. He's been replaced already by a regional transmission company, and he wasn't even aware. People said that it's not because of corruption. There wasn't due process followed within this. Another case in point for us to note is that this particular man is a staff of the African Development Bank, and he was seconded to TCN because TCN was collecting a lot of money from foreign companies, and they needed to have somebody that they know that is honest to run the business.
Gotcha.
So now when you take him out, those who put their money in it are wondering, how is our money going to be taken care of? And power sector needs a whole lot of help. So this is not the time to be concerning.
We have to run, unfortunately. I think this is our last paper, but I was going to take that picture story in Daily Trust, showing Kano State, vendors wait to fetch water from a borehole from sale in Kano Metropolis. The reason why I wanted to show that picture is that the governor is about to lift the lockdown especially because of the prayers, and though everybody's against it. It's important to know that no matter how your intentions, how good your intentions are, people implementing is a whole different thing. So you might have plans to actually social distance, but the truth is that when these guys get there,
they don't understand.
They might not understand it, and you might actually cause more harm than actually good that you intended. Unfortunately, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we continue with some of our hot topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View. Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So a story actually caught our attention on social media where a young lady allegedly accused her female boss of not putting her through at work, exempting her name from internal and external trainings at work because she upgraded her dress sense. Things went back to normal when she started dressing normally. Let me tell you that story. What happened was that this young lady is a high flyer at work. She's doing very well. She has her boss is like her mentor, and everything was going well. Then she met this guy. You know, this guy has some cash, and he spoils her, makes her dress so nice, designer bags. She looks $1 million, you know, and she goes to work. And then her boss, who also looks $1 million, is now thinking, are you doing Aristo? And she's like, no, I just met a guy. And the woman feels like, okay, this girl is on a different level. So she starts actually removing her from certain meetings, feeling like, okay, you're on a different level. So she totally just put her aside. And this is somebody that used to be so well, one of her best workers. Now, when she now retraced her steps, I said, okay, let me just stop all these, my extra designer clothes and hair and everything. Went back to her normal self. She saw that the boss gravitated back to her, welcomed her, and started being really close to her. And
Thank you for giving that back
putting her back where she was. So she was now thinking, what do I do? Do I tell my boss about this? Would I offend her? Or do I just go back to my, continue my homebrew dressing so that I can continue to learn from her? Or do I damn all consequences and say, you know what, I'm going to be what I want to be. I'm going to dress what I want to dress.
Okay,
and then, you know, do your worst. You sack me. Or how do you advise that kind of person? So it was a conversation that was put on social media, and it was interesting, and I thought was good to talk about because a lot of young girls are also in that situation. They are being torn between being fly, and at the same time being seen as somebody who is focused. You know, and they're being told, they don't know, what should I do? So I know BC is ready for this. Let me let you start. Go ahead.
So for me, I would ask what's important to you? What, as a young girl, what are your goals? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? And if growing in your career, because according to that story, when that woman took her under her wing, she was a high flyer. She was better than her peers. She was getting more opportunities. She was getting comments. Her bosses were commending her because she was doing really well. And so she was learning a great deal, which she couldn't have learned if the lady did not bring her under her umbrella. So I would ask you, where do you want to be? You know, do you think you can sacrifice looking fly right now to get what you want? Because at the end of the day, you would likely you're not going to spend the rest of your life working for this person. Someday you'll be promoted, someday you will leave. But would you sacrifice looking fly? Because the truth for me, at that age, when I just started building my career, I didn't even know that there were anything like designer clothes. I didn't know. And I had a boyfriend who was working, who it was not in his plan to give me money for all of that. So I was focused on growing myself and becoming a better version. So that's where my focus was. And for any young girl who comes close to me, I remember when I had one manager one time, and she came to my house. She was managing my production. And when she got there, she was using an iPhone. And at that time, me, the owner of the production, I didn't have an iPhone. It wasn't a big deal, but I just sort of looked at her and looked at her background and looked at her family and looked at, I was like, where did she get money to buy this iPhone? Do you understand? Just fair. So it could be that the woman must have seen, are you sure this person is not doing something? And I don't want this kind of person in my space. I want somebody who's willing to learn and grow. There's a time for everything.
God bless you. What are your thoughts on this?
There are two sides to the story.
Coach.
There is the side of the boss, but the focus should first be on the girl, because usually the boss has already become a boss, and so you should defer to that superior knowledge. So whether she's at fault or not for feeling insecure and reacting differently to the girl's outlook, that one is a different ballgame. But for the girl, I sense I sense emotional intelligence coming in and growing. So I will applaud the girl for being aware that something changed when addressing changed, because it's emotional intelligence for you to know that my responses from my boss was different, and let me change. So it's not, you can be confident, but when you are with your boss, you don't act rude. You don't come in feeling yourself and showing off to your boss. So I believe that when a lot of girls are trying to become the boss before doing the job.
Hallelujah.
You know, young girls want to use your human hair. They want to wear the kind of shoes the boss is wearing without doing the work. And so, if that is your ambition, you will do two things. You either steal or you sleep around to get it. And when we don't do that work, it shows up. So this girl wasn't stealing or sleeping around a legit relationship that was blessing her, but she should understand there was cost to it, which is that your boss will look at you like, you're not serious. If you're really serious, you wouldn't be doing this kind of thing.
At this time.
And it was more emotional intelligence I would applaud her emotional intelligence for taking the time to dial back on addressing, which I believe she should continue doing, knowing that I must stoop to conquer.
But we're going to what BC said. Decide what you want. If your ambition is to be the flyer, I don't care, I don't send.
Okay.
Career great, but this is what I want to do, and I have a man in my life who is showing me love and wants to marry me and is putting me at that level. Why do I wait? Why do I need to consider how my boss is thinking? Hold that thought. Let me take this call. Good morning, are you there from Veronica?
Yes, good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
I'm Ms. Veronica from Ojokoro.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead, please.
This is my first time of reaching you.
Welcome to the show.
So I have a little advice for that young lady.
Yes.
Because I passed through such experience in my life before. I live in a particular house. The landlady doesn't want anybody to dress. If you dress, you're in trouble. And I didn't have money to go and still rent house at that period, so I have to pipe low to be on the same page with what the woman wants me to be. So I want to encourage that lady that if she still wants to be learning from that woman, she should not fly so high. She should come down a bit, because she's sure of the work she's doing and what she's gaining from that woman. But she's not sure of this guy who is flattering, who is giving her a lot of things.
Never marry him.
Something may happen tomorrow.
Never marry him.
The man can drop her.
Yes, ma. I agree.
She should pipe low and calm down, please, so that she can learn from that woman and she get her best from her.
Yeah, thank you so much. A lot of young ladies that I say that are in this. There's a pressure. So you've graduated. You are now an adult. You're 21, you're 22. You happen to have a decent job. And you feel like, listen, hey, I am working. Yes, you don't have a lot of money in your bank account, but I need to look the part. And I just happen to have this man who is just compliments me perfectly well. Do I need to stoop? Because I don't have to stoop.
You know you don't have to.
I don't have to. What you are stooping to get, God has already brought it for me. I'm already doing what I have. My husband, my boyfriend has a nice house. We're going to be moving to Parkview when we get married, you know. So do I need to stoop, really?
So I try to not invalidate any other person's needs or wants, because we're all different, we're created differently, and we don't know our destinies. You don't know where God is taking you to tomorrow. I don't know where God is taking me to tomorrow. So for some people, if your goal is to be fly, it's okay. That means that you would likely not work with this boss. She will likely not put you under her umbrella, and she will cast you aside. And you may not learn as much on that job. She could just be in that job for just a few years to get money and do something else. So if that is your goal, it's okay to say, call her bluff and say, I'm going to dress the way I like.
Right.
That's your goal. There are people who have that goal, and it doesn't mean you're going to be less successful tomorrow.
Right.
So when you have that understanding, you know that, first of all, what is it that you want? Now, I was casting my mind, and I said, what if Oprah tomorrow just calls me, BC, oh yeah, come to America, come and learn under me. I see one potential in you, I want to help you. And then I get there and she says, oh, you see all this hair? Throw it away. I want your natural hair. Before she finishes the sentence, I will cast everything away and be bare because I want to learn from Oprah. Right. So that is what I want. That is what I want for my career. But it's also okay if you want something different.
So for me, I would say you have to crawl before you walk. And I'll go back to young girls jumping the rope. Many people get desperate because they want to look like the bosses. I had an intern that came to work with me, and she was helping me to record videos. The next thing I'll see that as I'm doing my makeup, she's already doing her makeup. I'm like, are you not supposed to, like, you're supposed to help me, but you want to look more fly than me when we are going out. Okay, no problem, look good, it's fine. Then the next thing, as I'm doing video, she's also holding her phone. I want to be in the selfie with you. I'm like, okay, fantastic. But we need to, this is our, young children, they say before, when babies are born, they don't open their eyes in 3-4 days. But now, babies are born, they can grip your hand, their eyes are open. So there is actually a change in the way kids come out nowadays. They are very, very already urban and very modern. But we need to help them understand that humility and going through the process. You see, money will come and go, but if you have built your content and your character, when the money goes, you have the strength in you to build another one again. But if you are looking for money, when the money goes, you don't know how to build it because you did not build it in the first place. So I believe that the girls should learn to stoop down and build and learn. And get that thing in them already.
Okay, so I was going to take a call, but I had the call that's been cut off. But, you know, a young lady lives in my house, my bro, you know, and recently I wanted to change my phone. I had an iPhone, what was it, iPhone X that I had. And she wanted it. And myself and my husband discussed, okay, should we give this girl? She actually asked for it. Now, she's somebody that has shown responsibility. I know she's going to use the phone. She's a young girl, really and truly. That at that age, you think, where did she get that kind of phone from? But I had to assess, who is this girl? Can I give it to her? Is she responsible enough? And I realized she's using it for something bigger than I can even use it for. She's doing work. Her work, it actually enhances the kind of work she does. So I was comfortable giving a young woman that iPhone X. You know what? You have it. Now, a lot of people, they desire much more. But the truth is that, can you handle it?
If you have not worked for it,
if you have not worked for it, can you handle it? Because you will get it and you will just misuse it.
Thank you.
In order of priority, the average iPhone cost about 200 and something thousand naira. That's like the smallest iPhone. And if you don't have any land to your name, you don't have a house. I know my husband sells phones. One lady bought a phone of 500 and something thousand naira. She was going to pay in 2 installments. And the next day after buying the phone, she was taking a bike with iPhone. The phone fell down and the screen smashed. I'm like, are you thinking you are buying a phone of a 500,000 naira? You don't have a car. Let's sit down and order our priorities. You can do that same work with a smaller phone. I don't want to mention brands, but they are smaller. There's Samsung, there's Infinix, there's Techno. You can use smaller brands. This thing of I cannot do it without this. It has to be iPhone. It's a lie.
We're coming back to this matter. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
So still on this topic, because again, this week we've been on the young girls' case. We've been on their case all through.
They need it.
But let's go to, is it wrong to aspire for greatness? Is it wrong to aspire for something more? So you're coming from a very humble background, you know, and somehow things that you realize that they tell you, how was that phrase they tell the young people? How you dress is how you address. How you be addressed. And now that you've not really internalized that, and you want to look the part, even though you're coming from a
very humble background.
Very humble background. Is there anything wrong with the young lady trying to dress to impress?
There's nothing wrong with that, but I've seen a lot of people get into trouble because of that. Okay, so I came from a very humble background. And I remember in the university, I see people gather and they talk about me that she doesn't have more than 3 tops or 4 jeans.
For real?
I am telling you. She doesn't, she'll just wait and be bouncing, fine girl, fine girl, fine girl. She doesn't have anything. I remember a particular day in the classroom when I wore a very fancy yellow shirt. And this friend of mine just came and looked at the label. She wanted to be sure Abisi had started wearing designer. She now looked at it, oh, it's not even, I'm telling you. I will never forget that day. Fast forward, there's something I believe in, which is take your time to bloom late.
Hallelujah.
There's no hurry. There's no hurry. The what's this very tall, the tallest tree? Is it bamboo? That takes years. You don't see anything and you're wondering, I'm just watering, I'm just watering, I'm not seeing anything. And then the orange will spring, the corn will spring and all of that, and everybody's seeing them, they are eating the fruit. When the bamboo comes up, nobody can match the bamboo. So take your time to ground yourself. While they were teasing me and laughing at me, I faced what brought me to the university. I faced my book. And when I came out, I got a job immediately. I started, even when I was building my life and I had something, I started using iPhone on your view set. I wasn't using iPhone till I got here. And that was because I felt, okay, I wanted something I could do. Do you know why I even got the iPhone? Because I see it as an iPad. Where I can do all of my work, and I do all of my work here. It took me time, but I grew into it. So take your time to grow into it, so that when it comes, you can manage it well.
I have a call. Taiwo, are you there?
I am.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Okay, what I understand what the topic is, and I share in what you guys are saying, but also let us also look at it from this angle. Now, if somebody dresses nice and all that, as long as that person can still carry out his or her duties effectively, I don't feel there's nothing. As long as that person, I understand humility and all that, but if this person, I can look nice and still have humility. You understand? But as long as you look nice, you dress nice, you look sophisticated, but you're still delivering. It's what is in your head. You're delivering that. Because some men would tend to abuse this type of thing. Because if you're saying that, okay, fine, someone looks this, someone looks that, some men will definitely abuse that. They will.
Thank you very much for bringing it up, because you can also look at it from that angle. The boss. Should the boss have judged her based on her dressing?
So I already said that there was the boss side of maybe low self-esteem or whatever it is that insecurities that she's going through. But the boss is the boss. You know, they say, it's a Yoruba proverb that means that adults use their adulthood and being mature to oppress the young one. And sometimes you would say it's not right, but they've earned the right to tell you kneel down, and you will kneel down. When you get there, you can start arguing it. So I'll answer your question and address that person. I'll go back to emotional intelligence. I cannot say I want to go and do a documentary about market women and I go and be like, excuse me, I want to buy habanero peppers, and how do you sell it? Where do you get it from? You must have that intelligence and ability to social lingua. Where you are and the language you will speak where you are. How you will dress for the place you are in. So if you are coming as an intern and your father is Dangote, it doesn't mean you will come in and you're wearing Gucci bag, Gucci shoe, Gucci. It doesn't. That's not that I have it. That's that you are being stupid. It is more intelligent and wiser for you to know that you have all of them at home, but you're wearing the basic plain dress. It's not that you should dress bad. It's that you should dress in a way that is not flashy and drawing unnecessary attention to yourself. Moderation in everything. So you might aspire, and I am all for aspiration. Oh my goodness, I am very, very ambitious. It's not small money I want to make. I'm not thinking about small success. So I know about ambition, but misplaced ambition is the problem. So your ambition should not be to use human hair. That's a stupid ambition. Honestly. Permit me to say. Your ambition should not be to use a big phone. Your ambition should be to have a house. Why would you buy a phone of 20 or something? You don't have any name. You don't have your name on any paper, any land. You don't have shares. Have your ambitions for the right things. Have your investments. Have houses. Have land. Have a car. Then you can now go and buy phone. Nobody will. What would I say? I won't say anything to you now. You have ended.
Let me even quickly say that, you know all these men let me use the Igbo men. You see them, they wear their short knicker, and they wear their slippers, and they wear their T-shirts, and you think they are ordinary. If you need to see what they control, most of them don't use iPhones. Most of them don't. It's only when probably the ones that are married, you see their wives, that you can tell that the way this woman is dressed is like this man has something. Do you know why they do that? Because of the nature of business that they do, they need to navigate with
Into the
people,
market.
navigate into the market, make that money silently, quietly, and then they can plan their lives. These are the people you see go on vacations often because they have it, but you don't see it written all over them.
If you recall, there was a young lady came from a minister. She came here, she wanted to be an intern.
Yeah,
young lady
you said
had
that.
this beautiful accent. And I said, okay, fine, be an intern. Number one, you do this, you do part of the list. I listed about 10 things she'll be doing. One of which is making tea for the ladies of your V. And once she said tea, when I said tea,
She heard
her
only
face
that.
changed. That was the only thing she heard. She now reported to the minister that, Mariah wants me to be making tea. That one said, when me, I was in NT, I made tea.
Thank you.
Even me, minister, I have passed through that level. I made tea. A lot of young people, though,
They want to jump the gun.
you want to totally jump because, but see, can you really blame them?
It's a society.
It's a jet age. I don't want to go through that process. I can do it from the top. Because what makes you a boss? That thing you know, I can Google it and know it. Yes, there's a part of experience, but they will tell you they know what you know. Let me take this call. Good morning, B. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Okay. My take to this thing is that sometimes we Nigerians, we need to stop all these things to our staff, our workers, about the way we see them and the way we view them. Sometimes, I mean, a lady come to the office, our boss took her through process and all that, and he's now doing well now. Like, probably wear things that his boss is wearing. It's not a wrong thing. It's not a bad thing. As long as he's not taking our boss or is making our boss feel less, like he's now proud. That someone comes with the same car your boss is driving, it's not a bad thing. We just need to see a way how Nigerians can start thinking away from, okay, because it wasn't someone before, and then we are now making him to be someone, and then he's now getting like, he's now looking like he's coming up to be like the person. It's not a wrong thing. We do that to all our staff.
Let's address
Thank
the
you
boss.
very much, Mr. I'll come to that. I'll go on a break. But you see, when he said something, I remembered when my first job in the US after graduation, it was a health insurance company. And I came in with all my credentials. I'm a graduate, and I just did this, I came up. And after I finished,
Speaking English.
they just gave me, okay, this is our Bible. Study it. That's all we want you to know. That's all. This is what we do here. All this because I dressed the part. You know what this is how you dress. They tell you exactly what you wear. This is what you say, you know. So the point I was trying to make is that, yes, there's nothing wrong in you being you. But the moment you come into the space, you are working with me. You are my intern, you're my assistant. Emotional
what is expected of you here.
Understand what the expectations are. And then live on to it. Once you move out, be all you can be.
Thank you.
Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So we have James from LA, Los Angeles. Good morning, James.
Good morning, Mariah. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Yeah, you see, the topic you're discussing about the young girl that dresses more than the boss is just a little example of a bigger law. If you have read The Thing by Niccolo Machiavelli or 14 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, you will understand that there is a fundamental rule
Don't outshine
when
the
it
master.
comes to power play that says never outshine the master. Every politician understands this.
Yes, sir.
Every businessman understands this. The moment you are coming across as more colorful, more witty, more intelligent than your boss, or more flamboyant or attractive, it becomes a problem. It's a general rule that everybody understands. I will give you a typical example of something that happened to a personal friend of mine sometime in the late 90s. He used to supply a major oil company the keg that they used to contain their engine oil. I'm not going to mention the name of the oil company. And he was making a lot of money. The managing director, the executives, the EDs were happy with his supply because his kegs were of high quality. But then the clock 50 and he decided to throw a big party at Oriental Hotel. Everybody was there, all the high and mighty, that even the MD himself was overwhelmed that, wow, so this guy has made so much money from us. From the next supply afterwards, the cover of his tent started having problems. Not too long after, they removed him.
Thank you very much, Mr. James.
We get it.
Fundamental law that nobody should jump with.
Right, right. Thank you so much. I was trying to share during the break. I had a boss, and I think I've shared it on the OV before. When I got back from the US, and I got the company, and my boss would say, first of all, when you're talking to me, you address me, and I'll say, hi, how are you? Don't ever tell me hi. You say, good morning, ma. When I mean, this is somebody that she wasn't high up there. She's just like maybe manager, and I'm I'm the next to her.
Yes.
When I'm talking to her, and I go to her, hi, go to her office, she'll say, please put your hands behind your back. I was fresh from US, I was still doing the accent. I'll do like this.
And talk to her.
Okay, so stand about 10 feet away from me. Because I'll come close to her desk. She'll have me to stand over there. Now, say what you want to say.
Jesus.
That's the boss. Now, I was irritated. I didn't like it, but I sucked it up.
Because you had to learn.
I had to learn. Because one thing I learned, what that woman did to me, she made me write a report every single day. At the end of the day, write a report on what you did, what happened, how you solved problems. At the end of the week, I'll write another report, summarizing everything. Oh, she drained me. But guess what?
It prepared you.
Built you.
Oh,
it prepared you.
Because when I went to my next job, what my boss liked about me, every small thing, reports. Can you go? Reports. She just like, what's going on? The reports, and it's well-detailed reports. And that's how I got elevated. So I stooped
to conquer.
I learned, and it built me up.
Okay, so let's address the boss, because at sometimes you were able to learn, and I think everybody should adopt the Mariah's attitude concerning this. I've said it, I've shared how humility has helped me. My dad said I wasn't supposed to marry my husband, and he was doing everything. I had to kneel down, beg, and that humility saved me in marriage. But addressing the bosses is that there is actually a bit of low self-esteem involved there. When I was in GSS1, there was a GSS2 senior, like GSS2 senior, that told me to kneel down every time I'm talking to her. And I see that lady today, she lives in Magodo. I can never,
for real?
I can never forget her. Senior Tayo. I will save you with your surname. Senior Tayo is short. And because I did nothing, I'm taller than her.
Just tall.
I kneel down. You don't talk to me like that. What are you feeling like? Kneel down. And I was a GSS1 junior, and I had to kneel down. Obviously, it had nothing to do with me. It had to do with our own inferiority. And a lot of people, when you finish training your staff or you haven't come to work with you, they might be more eloquent than you. They might even get better than you in their skill.
Absolutely.
You should be comfortable with the fact that I was the first person that deposited in this person, but she has taken it further, and celebrate them. Don't be insecure about the achievements of those that work in your team and all of that. It rubs wrong on you. This boss, good as she was, couldn't handle a success, the growth of us.
Insecurities happen. Listen, people. We all have one insecurity or the other.
We need to start working on it.
I have serious insecurities in certain areas, and I wear it with pride. Yes, don't go to that area. That I can't handle it. Leave it.
For now.
For now. But the point is that whether you like it or not, once your boss is your boss, and so Junilo, that is your boss.
Full stop.
At that moment, you have to just stoop. But let me take this call. I'll come to UBC. Jonathan, are you there? From Delta State.
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead, please. You're live.
Hi, Jonah.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
It took time to get to you guys, honestly. A quick one.
Yes, go ahead.
I think what the boss is feeling is feeling threatening.
Yeah.
Over dresses. This is also happening to the boys as well, because I experienced the same. I work with an Indian company where my boss is checking eventually everything you are having, how you dress. He didn't say don't dress well, but then how you dress, the way you behave around them, when you begin to hint salary and you begin to try to upgrade yourself, there is how they look at you. So there's something my mother used to tell me. Said when you are working in a place, try to hide yourself, hide who you are. It doesn't mean you don't have to come out, But my advice to the girl is that if she really wants to learn, because no one will teach you when you think you've known it all.
Exactly.
Your dressing gives you away, or your attitude or anything, especially in this part now, dressing. So she has to ensure that she can hide herself, according to what one of your presenters said.
Right.
You need to hide yourself, learn to manage what you have around you to attain more knowledge. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I realize that some people are competitive. They want to walk into a room and be the most beautiful. They want to be the best dressed. They want to be the one that is most outspoken, more eloquent, and they just want to be on top. And these people grow, and then they become bosses. And so because they are now at a level where they can order people around, they want to still be the best. Now I want to go to how can you be a good boss? Because the truth is, there are some people you work with and you know that never will I come near this person again. Even if they need help tomorrow, I will disappear from that. I will not want to help them. Honestly, because of the experiences you've had working with them. There is nothing wrong in accepting the growth of other people around you, accepting the success of other people. There's nothing wrong in that. So we need to start looking inwards. Whatever insecurities we all have, this is a time for us to start talking to ourselves to know that this is not the way to go. So even if I feel that I'm not beautiful enough and I have somebody who's outshining, who's working under me and outshining me, it doesn't mean that I have to stop giving her due because I feel that way. I need to go back and work on myself and understand that no matter what she wears, no matter what I wear, we all have value. We are here to bring value and focus on the value and the content of what you're doing there and not looking at all those, no, I don't want this person to be better than me and all of that. It means you're a witch. That's how it's as simple as that. So let's just go on our own.
Ahis, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning, Mariah.
Go ahead,
I'm morning to your guest.
Yes.
The other ladies in the studio, I'm sorry.
Right, go ahead.
Mariah, the thing is this, what I've seen and understand in our setting here in Nigeria, even in some other clients, is that we must learn to understand that when one is doing well in what he or she is doing, we should also encourage that person to continue to do well. But at the same time, for that young lady, just like a lot of others have said and colleagues in the studio, for me, if she wants to continue to learn, she wants to continue to do that job, and she also wants to be a boss one day. I believe, since she has been able to understand that the problem she's having with her boss is a way of dressing, and she's able to understand that she has gone back to the way she used to dress, I think that is the best thing she should do. Because for me, Mario, we live in a society where we have people who are bosses who feel intimidated when you start looking the way they look.
Exactly.
That is just the simple truth. You can just imagine we have people who work in some state organizations. They will buy a car, they cannot even drive that car to the office. Because you are afraid that once I drive the car to the office, the next thing you get is a sack letter.
Yeah.
So these are the issues. So we must learn to understand all this and just try to protect what we do to get to that height we are aspiring to get to. I think that's the best thing we should
Thank you so much. Let's take a few tweets. Thank you so much.
So Mr. Adebayo says, while in the uni, a lady in the engineering department always dressed like she was going to a party. For lecturers, and most lecturers hated that, and she was always told off. This affected her. She realized and toned down how she dressed. Then Afolabi Uluwaseun says, you ladies have trashed the ladies' issue. Let's talk about the boss. If she can be insecure with just dressing, I wonder if such a boss can approve a promotion for the lady that will be equivalent to both ladies being on the same level of management and board of directors. I doubt that. Obo Lawrence says, truth be told, nothing wrong in dressing the way you like, but applying the principle of common sense and studying the environment is key. If you did not dress like that when you were applying for the job, do it wisely.
Okay, so let's switch over to the boss, like as she rightly said. We have acknowledged that there are some bosses that have their own issues, domestic violence, PMS, as small as PMS could be. You have your own personal things you're dealing with, and sometimes you go off. But I think what I heard Tokwe say earlier was that you've earned your space, you've earned your slot. That's who you are, and you've agreed to be working with me. So even if you can complain that, oh, my boss is so insecure, oh, my boss is always doing it.
But you're working
there, you are getting value for the work. You should be able to, again, compartmentalize, understand what the value you're getting, put manage your boss. That's one thing I always tell people that work with me. Know how to manage me. There are certain things that I might do right, I might not do, but understand and manage me properly. So once you manage your boss, You now know what she likes and what she doesn't like, and know when to do certain things and when not to do certain things. Let's take a few.
In managing, in talking and addressing the boss, we might also be able to make a boss right now realize that their reaction is speaking to insecurity. So the moment you start feeling uncomfortable with your intern, your staff that are beneath you, looking nice, then it might speak to the fact that you are a bit insecure in yourself. Because some people are not even aware that their actions display low self-esteem or displays insecurity, and that's not good for the boss either. So we can acknowledge that bosses are entitled to the respect they should earn for that position, but we must push ourselves to grow. So if you're a boss feeling that way, get to deal with your own self, to have a chat with the lady, and then think to yourself that it's okay for her to shine. Her shine does not disturb my shine. We can all shine together.
Yeah. And so we're going to go on a break now, but imagine like somebody said earlier, Dangote's daughter, for example, comes to work with you. No matter how you make her remove her designer wear, she's still Dangote's daughter. It's not going to reduce the amount in her bank account.
Do you know that I've realized that people that actually have it, they don't show it?
Oh, of course.
A Dangote's daughter, you will not know is a Dangote's daughter. You see those ones that manage to fall into the well.
How do you know?
The Gucci's, even Gucci mask, everything.
I said that I was opportune to have I grew up in certain circles growing up, and a lot of the rich kids I grew up with, once in a while, I left that circle intentionally, but now, these days, I'm trying to go back into that circle. And when you talk to them, they're talking normally.
Simple.
No, you can understand.
No accent.
But when you now, someone that they sold their land, sold everything, and you travel to just 3 months, you come back, and your accent is conquered than the queen. And you're thinking, okay, so it's like, but you see, listen, you can't blame these people. We have defined that for them. That's what is acceptable behavior. That is what's going to help your growth. That is the truth.
No, aside from that, there's the way the rich raise their children is different from the way the poor raise their children. So the poor children will keep striving to appear rich, to have that walk, to have that tone till they die. That is, they just see that there's something I must do for people to see that I have arrived. But you see the rich, because they were born into it, they grew into it. It's normal for them to eat. I have a friend, a commissioner's daughter at that time, who will eat her yam and palm oil in the university in a fry pan. She does not send you. She will eat it there, drink her gari and ijebu, and just,
so let's go to people. We'll wrap up on this. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to be opening our phone lines, take a few calls for the last few minutes, and then tweets. Go ahead, BC.
Okay, Mr. Adebayo once again says, when your yam is matured, you should be careful to eat it wisely and codedly. No need to be too flamboyant, and always understand the situation, place, and time for your dress sense. Not everyone that wants you to tone down hates you. Some have genuine reasons.
Hallelujah.
Toluwa says, think about the oil and gas employees in Nigeria. They are a good example of modesty in dressing and appearance. DQ says, even if you want to feel fly, you can do that in your private life but once you're at work, you can keep it professional. It all depends on your work. Some require you to be fly, some require you to keep it simple and professional. My point is that you can feel fly in your private life.
Imodi Sam says, let the young girl stay calm till she becomes her own boss. There is this girl in my street who is currently using iPhone 7, and she stays with her mom who sells nylon on the streets in one room. And then another person was saying, Prof. Imo Hena says, office principals should also learn to look beyond the dress code and look at how proficient the person really is. Though life is never going to be easy either way, the boss writes the check. They are the yam and the knife.
Adeyemo says, if being rich is vanity, so is being poor. We just have to choose our vanity wisely. I agree with you, sister.
Right, let me take this call and I'll come to you. Good morning, are you there? Hello? I think we lost that caller. Go ahead, BC.
Yeah, so some bosses are mentally poor even when they are rich. Even if you wear first class or krika, and iron it very well, they will still see you as overdressed. I just wanted to give a very short example. I remember in the university, with that my okrika that will come to Lagos to buy, and my few pairs of jeans, and my 1 or 2 sandals in the university. When I was in my final year, I was nominated as one of the best dressed students. When I got the award, I was like, I don't understand. Are they not seeing? But they didn't pay attention to the outfits. They paid attention to the confidence that I used to carry it. So it didn't bother me that I didn't have money to buy designer wears, because for me, that was not the reason I was in school. They yabbed me to that I didn't have television, I didn't have fridge and all of that.
I realized also how we raise our children.
Matters.
Because it matters. Because I remember when I was in university, I never really bought, I was a Payless person. I would go to Payless stores, I buy the cheapest shoes, everything. And I had friends that were buying
designers,
$300. I mean, I had a girl, she's late now. She buy this nice pair of shoes, $300, $400 then. And honestly, it never really.
Your eye was not there.
Eye was not there. I would just admire it.
Nice
but
shoes.
I would not even. It wouldn't even occur to me to save, because my brother was sending me money.
Okay.
I was saving. I was working like 3 jobs. I was saving my money. When I finally graduated,
graduated with money.
I now went to Macy's and I bought $100 pair of shoes for the very first time.
You were proud of it,
Oh my
right?
goodness gracious! I wore those shoes with confidence.
Before, we worked for it.
Knee-high, like boots like this, like the mid range. And I was so happy because it was my money. I was done with school and now I could take on the world. I wore those shoes,
you got wear and your money.
So the point is that you, as a young person, your eyes are just so, there's nothing wrong to aspire, but your eyes are just so exposed to what you cannot afford.
And aspire for the right things. We've said that over and over again, but we can't overemphasize it. And when you don't have it, understand that it will come.
It will come.
These things come. And it will come in a way that you'll be wondering, so I was really feeling bad about this small thing. It's not a big deal anymore. You know, so like sometimes it just helps to put things in perspective, because everybody you are saying that has, except those that were born with silver spoon, everybody you see that went through the same process. So they went through the same process you are going through, the times of waiting, of using a phone that is broken, and you're like, let me roll the charger. So you will roll the charger around the phone because it's shaking. We've all been there. And you pass, you get over it.
I also want to emphasize parenting. You know, you have a child who is in the university and comes home with clothes you did not give her money to buy.
Hallelujah.
And you accept it. And she starts spending money in the house, renovating the house, and you accept it, and you're laughing and praying for. She's not working, she's a student, and you're praying for her. Parents, open your eyes. Raise your children in such a way that what you don't buy for them, their eye is not there. They will not bring it home because they know their mother will tear them apart.
Totally.
So raise them to be content with what they have.
Fantastic.
Content.
You see, that contentment
is key.
It's key. You see, once a child is content, everything else falls in place.
Yeah.
When you can preach contentment
to your children,
to a human being, parents, I mean, that's for me, that was the biggest thing my father taught me, my father and my mother. What you have is what you have.
It's enough for
you.
It's enough for you.
Don't look elsewhere. That one I can afford is sufficient.
Yeah, it is.
Let me take this call. I think it's our last call. Dino from Lekki. Jide, go ahead, please.
Hello, good morning.
Morning. Go ahead, you're live.
Yeah, I just want to address the issue on the lady turning down address.
Go ahead, please.
I don't see it as bad attitude to dress in a way, because this is.
Please call Jide back. I do apologize for that.
We lost that.
I don't have time more.
Okay, Jire. Okay, sorry about Jire. Do call, but I'll try to call him back. Let's see if we can bring him. So as we wrap up,
it starts from preschool level as well. It's as bad as eating another person's snack. You know, there are kids that they go, I was a teacher in the school, they see their own, they push it aside, they don't want it. They want to eat that one that somebody else has brought. So you teach them your own. If you don't like it, pack it up, sit down, drink your water, and wait for me. When we get home, you tell me, Mommy, I don't like your snacks. I want another one.
I'll give you this example. My son came back home. He was taking somebody's food in school, and he would take somebody's snacks in school, and I stopped him. Then he got home and he did not want to share with his brother, and I said, it's good to share. He said, but my friends in school, they say I should not share from their own food. I said, it is different when you are in school. It's different when you're at home. You can share with your siblings. Just don't go eating somebody else's food at home.
This reminded me of a story growing up. I mean, there's so many stories. We all have our stories. In Corona, there was this guy. I'll mention his name because everybody in my class knew that boy. Ola was his name. Ola had a yellow and red lunchbox. Everybody that was in a primary 5 ordinary know that Ola. He will come. The lunchbox was like in 3 sets: big one, middle one, and small one. He will put it like this. Bring down the big one has one something. The smaller one, you know, he will not set it up.
It's
they have
a
the peanut butter sandwich. They have chicken snack. They have carrot. You just be like, look, hey, whoa. And me, what would they do? Plastic something, you know, regular plastic food, and they just give me one biscuit and everything, and you be embarrassed to bring out your own. And Ola sets up his lunchbox like this.
Supermarket.
Hey, you just be like, what rubbish is this? You're not going to start complaining. My mother would tell you, this is what I can afford.
Thank you.
You will take it.
Eat it.
You eat it. You have no choice.
Eat it.
So that it's important that
parents
begin to remind, because kids, and have that conversation. Let them know. Ask them what happened in school today.
Over and over again.
So if they have like that Lola experience, you can then teach them, no. What I gave you,
when your child starts saying, I want this particular biscuit, I'll ask, why do you want it? Oh, somebody brought it to school. No, you don't get it.
Won't have it.
So have that conversation over and over again and instill the right values in them.
I think we thrashed this issue.
Yes,
totally.
We thrashed it.
I pray they listen and they are not looking at our hair.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take. Don't forget social distancing, face mask, and keep yourself safe. Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye for now.